I was toasting cider glasses with the two fillies after we had sold everything we brought back from the building of the ministry. It was more bits earned in a day than I ever thought possible. The vendors were almost starting a bidding war downstairs in the area. It was absolutely nuts.
Well, that's what you call a day.
Scattershot was looking right at me, and Compound with the smuggest smile you'd imagine on a gun-nut filly, which was cute in a way. Dirty and rough, which is quite down my alley, fillies. I winked at the girls, and remembered the intense spell casting and decimating dozens of mind-controlled ghouls. Sure, it was do or die, but getting out of these spots alive felt more addictive than every drug under the sun.
Sounds like you, big guy. But what next? We do have a bunch of files this science pony gave us. We need to sift through them and see what is up with this crazy army. About the most obnoxious thing I've ever gotten to see.
Compound put her own mug down after gulping half of it in one fellow swoop. Thoughtfully, but with that grin that you get when you know that you've had something fermented. That scientist from earlier, we didn't see him yet, or heard of him yet. He did say he'd be up here at some point. Heck, I'd give him cider on the house by how I was feeling right now. I was feeling like we survived. We conquered the day. Did make me think of that settlement of ponies that we basically found it out of an old prison. How they were. I was hoping for the best of them. Heck, who am I kidding? I'd also give them free cider right now if they were here. Another round, I reckon. The pony from the place, who was apparently good at doing anything with apples, instantly sat down 3 more mugs from us after I nodded. This was going to be a pretty swell evening, and none of us was going to end up thirsty.
Could get used to this, not gonna lie.
Scattershot scooted over to me, laying a hoof around me.
It's like living the royal life from back then. Well, he is our own pre-war relic.
Compound got closer to me as well. It was getting cuddly and very cozy. A few moments of us enjoying another's company while getting tipsier by the minute. A purple unicorn in a wide lab coat approached us, accompanied by a security pony who wore armor that made him look like a miniature tank.
This pony here wants to see ya, Unfortunately, his rep isn't the best around here, but apparently he's been a citizen at some point, but he's a biter, so I'm keeping an eye on him.
Didn't know this guy's background stretched right into the walls of Tenpony Tower, but what can you say? So, tomorrow I reckon we discuss employment in your settlement, huh? He leaned over, and before I knew it, the guard pony was more interested than the Scion, who pretty much destroyed his whole work and wanted to start anew.
A settlement? You 3? What's he mean?
The guard pony took his helmet off and sat down with us.
Well, we founded a settlement a while ago, and, I hope they're doing alright.
Damn, don't hear every day about a pony who runs a settlement. Must be a capable bunch then.
That's a good way to put it.
He tried getting more out of us, but conversing clearly with a group of drunk wastelanders, not exactly something that's gonna happen. The guard pony refused cider because it was technically during his shift, which meant the ghoul chemist pony got a few mugs instead. When cider was flowing, everything just felt 20% happier. The wasteland's dangers just dumped down a little bit for a while, which is perfect. Beds were not the hardest thing a pony could afford here, but with 3 drunk wobbly ponies, getting over to the pony and telling them what you want can be troublesome. The scientist sadly wasn't allowed a bed here. Made me really think what had happened. In the end, they shoot him off into a cell near the guard area, so we could pick him up tomorrow.
3 beds, please. Sugar, you 3 look wasted like you're celebrating y'all's birthday. Don't worry, I don't make the softest sheets and beds for nothing.
The mare from the stand in the foyer led us to a back area upstairs after we paid her 30 caps per pony, and she opened a room that was dimly lit by energy crystals, but filled with two of the coziest beds anywhere. Me, Compound, and Scattershot all had the same idea and scooted 2 beds together.
Enjoy your stay, sweets. We've even got Brex in the morn.
She got us a few blankets and closed the door behind us. Almost instantly, I flopped onto the bed, belly first. It was like landing on a cloud without falling through. Compound crawled onto the bed and slowly cuddled up to me, laying her head against one of my wings and nuzzling it, while Scattershot sat on the other side and rolled over in a swift motion, looking at Compound, and then me in the eye, and kissing both of us, before resting her head on my chest. What an adorable thing. 1 filly on each side. I folded my wings and tucked them in, and covered us with the blankets.
Shucks, ain't fibbing but napping like this every night. That's life, right, stud?
Scattershot started kissing my chest and rubbed her nose against my own. Compound was already busy nuzzling my cheek and then tongue-kissed me, while very intently rubbing my wings.
Sweet as liquid moondrops.
Our potion pony smirked and my cheeks felt warm like the sun.
Rough when it's tough and yet total sugar when you're cooling down. That's both of y'all.
I felt a smack on my rear. I was feeling quite amazing, to say the least. After a few minutes, we were all cuddled together, happy and drifting right into dreamland. Speaking of which, ever since Luna's death, no pony was really looking after those anymore. Guess ponies managed somehow. Seemed the world was still going round, even if it was quite a bit more rough around the edges. It felt like life was still on the table.
And in the embrace of these sweethearts, I felt like I was living it, together with them. We could revive the wasteland someday, bring back the spirit and friendship to these lands, and rebuild it. And there's no fun police telling us we couldn't enjoy ourselves on the way there. It was one of these nights where your dreams feel so alive and so real, like you wouldn't know you were dreaming until you woke up. I saw kids, a future family, a warless time, no need to worry about stepping outside and taking your last breath. Sunshine, sweet sunshine, soft summer breeze, and just seeing Equestria from way above. All the wrongs have been set right. A future for all of us. As the sun set on the horizon, it detonated in a fierce explosion, engulfing the landscapes in melting sunlight. I woke from my nightmare. It was still nighttime, but waking up, surrounded by my loved ones, I would ensure I would bring Equestria back to its glory, with them alive, no matter what it would cost. I rubbed my eyes and woke to Compound stretching herself in bed, and curling up to me as I opened my eyes. Scattershot was still full on slumber in my wings.
Morning.
Compound held a tongue kiss way long with me. Looking into her topaz-colored eyes made just about any worry go away. Holding her side and just rubbing nose against nose and enjoying the feel of laying there without a worry and just enjoying another's company, a blessing to have such moments nowadays. We slowly woke up after an eternity. The light in here was quite brighter than when we went to bed. Maybe this thing was sorta simulating night and day, but with how warm and cozy this bed was, and my loved ones, leaving bed really was the last thing either of us wanted to do.
Pfft, I might as well hibernate in here with you two.
Scattershot was nuzzling Compound's mane, while I was petting her right behind the ears. Who knows, maybe someday this will be every day.
That'd be better than any dream I could think of.
Compound winked at me, but eventually we got out of bed and got our stuff together. Today was gonna be a day that could go either way, so we'd have to stay focused. As a trio, we got out of our bedroom, back into the hallways. No headache or anything, so we didn't get totally wasted last night. We did return to the pony who gave us the stay.
Sure, I didn't promise too much. You look like you woke from a year's sleep. Anyway, we got a little breakfast for those who stay with me. My hubby here got you covered.
She pointed to a stall next to her with a pony throwing all sorts of stuff into a frying pan. Damn, this definitely felt like we'd get pampered.
See you around. Got 3 more sleepyheads over here.
She yelled over to a gray, tall stallion whose head turned over to us for a second, and then immediately back into running his kitchen. Guy seemed very much in the zone.
I'ma fetch the doc from the Salisbury pony.
Scattershot scooted off en route to the security gate near the front, while me and Compound found a spot to sit down.
So, what's your story? Seemed pretty frolicky, like some good happened to you.
The cook almost caught us by surprise as we were sitting there, half awake still.
We found some loot in a ministry building, so, yeah. That place? Last few ponies who came through didn't make it back from there. Y'all must be good.
Yep, we definitely went through many adventures together and came out on top. I nodded proudly, thinking back. None of what we experienced so far would have been the same if it would have been just me.
Always good to have capable hooves on deck.
The cult was throwing in shredded cheese onto something, and my mind got hungrier with every sniff. I didn't know what he'd be making us, but you don't complain about getting food in the wastelands.
I don't mind the curiosity, but word's been going round of you owning a settlement. That hogwash or no? True as can be, I wanted to make a place ponies could call home, where you don't have to be afraid of death around the next corner, you know. Yeah, pony folk need it above all. After what we've been through.
Damn, smelling amazing over there.
Scattershot was back with our scientist from yesterday, who technically we didn't even have a name from. Not sure if even he knew his own name. The guard from yesterday was with him, just following along silently this time.
Lil Nowhere's been moody like rain.
Scattershot whispered right into my ear.
A ghoul? That's what you're calling company? You serious? You deserve better company than that by me.
At least these 3 actually have given me a chance to work somewhere without being seen as a threat or a monster.
You ain't pony to me. Look at these holes.
The pony trotted around us and gave us our breakfast. Some amazing looking omelet. Ghouls don't exactly run a diet of food, so he was fine on that end. At this point, a few more guards were around us, probably keeping an eye on things. Even I wasn't sure of the school's intentions, but sticking him in a pony body wasn't going to make him more or less trustworthy.
If we're judging by looks, then let's talk about your weight, fatty.
Scattershot was getting pissed, as was I in a way. The cook pony just went silent at this point.
Don't worry, we can all make a difference no matter where we come from.
Compound looked at the lab-coated ghoul, who was just sitting there in shock. This is what you hear from so many. It's ponies like these who gave us these wastelands. I looked at him, and knowing how the bombs fell, how the war came to be, there was more weight behind these words than most ponies in Tenpony Tower may be aware of.
I'll tell you this much, citizen. If this ghoul was a pony with the same background, I'd be on him just as much.
The guard, who had been silent this entire time, rose his voice and sat by, as we just ate. Big and gruesome ruined our meal, but I had this hunch that things were gonna get better. When someone denies you an opportunity as a scientist, you go do stuff, like trying to conquer everyone. But you can also try to get the whole wastelands behind you by uniting the creatures. And this ghoul's intentions seemed clear. If he didn't want our help, he would have perished yesterday with his work. What he did took a lot. Either that or he was going to pull something. But spells being around to help you find out if someone was lying did help out. We cleaned our dishes, paid, and plated them up and left without any meaningful goodbye. We had to leave Tenpony Tower for my long-ranged spells and other things to work. And I wanted to talk about things with him, like what he feels like doing and so on. Get to know the guy. So, within a few moments, we had the heavy doors of Tenpony Tower shut behind us, just down the road of the place some can call home and that others never may. This is pretty much every visitor ever since I became ghoul. And why I'd never apply for citizenship there either. I answered the guy's remark.
So, what's your name anyway?
Compound sat down next to us after checking the vicinity. Red Onion, biochemical engineer, but then I had to move out and found a leftover lab in the ministry building.
So then why do we have evidence of the army plans in Napaloosa, huh?
Scattershot got up close with him, remembering probably how she almost got killed there. You were there? There was some pony who wanted an army but stopped responding ages ago, so I made it myself. Well, we found a bunch of crazed robots in there who killed everyone in there, so there's that. Ah, that explains everything. He wanted an own army, so I made one of dead. And when I didn't hear from him, I decided to make them my army, because no one listens to a pony with holes. He sat there, very much looking like he'd be contemplating his last century. Well, we do need some pony who can do well with plants to feed a small settlement. I explained our situation. The ponies back there have barely gotten started and just learned how freedom feels. Sadly, you have to earn your freedom in the wastes. Like in a game of cards, except you're playing every day.
I do have to ask, who were you working for in Appaloosa? Who'd want an army to kill every creature with?
Compound was asking the logical follow-up question. Some big earth pony, name was Rattlecage. He was tactical pony for big red Pegasus from above clouds. And where may Rattlecage have gone to? Maybe we'll have to get up and close with him, you know. I thought loudly. A Pegasus pulling the strings on an invasion of the ground? That would be one heck of a conspiracy, but it would make sense, considering the things you hear about the rule above clouds. It might come for me if I told you, just promise me this won't cost me my life. But I've learned the hard way, you'll go through anything you wish. I looked firmly and nodded in a semi-serious manner, as I've dubbed it. The kind of serious which is all in good meaning, but still serious enough to be tense. Indeed, I have a mission here, and I will not fail. Very well. He did say he had friends in a base at Junction 5C of the train tracks. Apparently is between Manhattan and Canterlot. This one spoke to me. There was only one major junction on the way, which spread off into the forest area back then. There was a surveillance bunker built back in the war, but I never considered that place actually being used after the war. If this was going to be a lead on how things were happening above the clouds, after turning some heads, maybe we'd get to the bottom of how to remove the permanent cloud layer, but one step at a time.
Well, if some groups bent on taking these lands by force, we gotta beat 'em to it.
Scattershot scratched her head. You sure you want to go up there? You rarely hear from any pony returning from there, which is why the place is kept a secret. I grinned widely. I wanted to go there. I felt that if we could literally clear the skies, boy, would that inspire ponies. The eternally gray skies gone, but filled with endless blues. And we had made quite a few friends down here while traveling. But before I'd go to that base, some intel on who runs this area would be invaluable. If someone's able to hold their ground for a century, they gotta be good. That's coming from a 239-year-old alicorn. I remember we had collected a bunch of files back then, but we really didn't read through everything else, mostly because Scattershot was dancing with death back then. Maybe we could find something else in there that could give us an edge, or even ask one of our friends. This was gonna need an army, like, prep. We were gonna have to prepare this one army style.